I don't watch a lot of TV stuff, so that's why I chose from the era that I chose was like late 90s, early 2000s. That's when some of the best TV that I watched.
It's not as dark as The Handmaid's Tale yet. There's only the first season that's out. But what you see is like everything has that undertone of it. And obviously you're aware of The Handmaid's Tale watching it, so you know what different things mean and what the nuances are.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the To Be Decided podcast, episode 9. We are on the 9th episode because... Oh, that's how many we've got up to. So, yeah, we're only one week away from 10. I don't know why I said that. I kind of briefly lost it for a minute. Anyway. Yes, hello, everyone. Welcome to Be Decided, the podcast that... knows what it wants, but doesn't know what it's going to talk about until the day, pretty much. No, okay, so the last episode we did, this is going to be a part tour of last week's episode. So in previous episodes, we've been doing musicals, music, like live events, games, which we now and then come back to. And like I said, last week we were talking about TVs. Most of it last week was all about my favourite TVs, which I picked a couple at random from pretty much mid-90s to the early 2000s. So if you want to go and hear that, great. Feel free to do so. There's loads in that episode that you can pick up on. Let us know what your favourites media is. Feel free to drop us a comment in the comment section and, yeah, let us know what you've been doing. Anyway, that's back to this week's episode. Before we get started, before we get this thing going, get it off to a start, so, as I said, just right there at the start, I said about TV and what I've been watching. I have gone back. We did say this in the episode that I'd like to get back to watching some of the old Buffy series. So that's what I've been doing. And it's odd to watch back on something that you haven't seen for a while. And then you realise just how young some of those actors are compared to now. And,
God, yeah, they've got such baby faces, haven't they?
Right, especially in the first few seasons. Obviously, as we get closer to the 2000s, the later seasons, obviously you do get older, but they still look young even then. But I was just thinking, you know what we never mentioned? How much the theme tune slapped.
Oh God, yeah.
Because it was only because I was rewatching again. Like I said, I was watching them because I mentioned it in the last episode. I was like, okay, I might revisit, some, if not all, of those series, or certainly try to watch some of those episodes that we mentioned. And yeah, I was like, oh my God, this. I something about early, not so much
early
now.
2000s, 90s, like punk rock.
Oh, just on a intro. I mean, everyone's familiar with the themes, like that, the little clap thing. I'll be there for you, kind of thing. It was a song that was already made, and but they put it to that. Obviously the Big Bang Theory. But Bare Naked Ladies, that was. They cut the song down, but there is actually a full version of that. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there is actually a full version, and it's an extended version of the opening song.
Okay.
But yeah, look it up. It's actually they go into a little bit more detail, but yeah, that's actually quite good. But there's lots of Like Angel was a good theme as well.
Yeah, it was.
I
I'll tell you what had good openings, consistently good openings, but it wasn't exactly for the music. We were talking about this just before we went live. American Horror Story.
Mm.
The openings for the seasons of that was always like it really sets the tone.
Yeah, it does.
And it always tells you just enough about the season.
So again, that's something I'm going to have to go back into as well. Like talking about those things, and then I think, and then how did we miss not talking about the theme to it? Like I came away thinking that afterwards. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to try and remember to actually mention it. So yeah, here we are. But yeah, that was, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what always got us, because obviously I watched it with Minnie Bingley and Bingley Jr. And one thing that we kind of took away from it as kids, just constantly, if you say it to Hannah, she will say it back, is, right at the end of Buffy, you watch through the credits, you get to the end, and the little zombie goes across the screen and goes, "Grr, arg."
Arg. Yeah.
If you say "grr" to Hannah, she will arg back at you.
Oh, damn! You know what? I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, try it next time she's on and we're playing Faz. I guarantee she will arg back at you.
Oh, I'm gonna have to remember that. Okay, I'll make a note of that, mental note of that. Right? Is it grr and then arg? Right?
Yeah, grr.
Yeah,
arg.
Grr, arg.
This is when the little zombie's going across the screen. We fucking loved it. It became like a vocal stim.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll remember that next time we play Fez, because well, speaking of which, I mean, she came into she's just recently started playing it, as I understand. Yeah. Which is good. It's always nice to have, another player, someone coming into it.
More people to torture Mumsy.
Someone else to target Mumsy. Literally, one of the first things she said when we were in the call was, we've got to kill Mumsy. I was like, well, yeah, welcome on board. You are officially, and that was literally the initiation, is to come in. Like a frat party, trying to be initiated into a frat party. She's now part of the call gang.
Part of the Scooby gang, you might say.
Hey, yeah, because didn't they coined the phrase in Buffy?
In Buffy,
yes,
the Scoobies.
Wow, the Scoobies. See, we'll make it's come full circle, but yeah, we're bringing it back. We are bringing it back. I can't wait for next. I can't wait for next time. I think it's going to be will be next week now, but yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, actually, so I'm trying to think. What have you been up to anything this week before we get started? Because I was about to go into starting, but I just thought.
Honestly, not really. I mean, you know what I was like yesterday, but the chat might be interested to hear it, because yesterday I was so fucking tired. Like, when I tell you, I'd had a full night's sleep, right? And I was nearly falling asleep at work. And then I was nearly falling asleep on the drive home. At one point, I debated pulling over to have a nap before I finished driving home. And I got in exhausted. I changed the cat litter, put some clothes in the dryer, went to bed, slept for an hour and a half, got woken up by Mr. Bingley, the absolute sweetheart that he is, bringing me a homemade burger that he'd made from pork mince, which was absolutely gorgeous, because he does the majority of the cooking in the house.
Love that.
I ate that, went back to sleep for 45 minutes, woke up to my alarm saying, get up and go play with Mr. Steve, because you don't want to miss gaming.
Damn.
Hopped on Faz with you lot. 45 minutes later, I'm back in bed.
Yeah, no.
And then to make the matter worse, I woke up this morning, felt okay, got to midday, had to go have a half an hour nap in my car on my lunch break.
Damn. So that's some serious nap time.
Oh, when I tell you, if my eyes are closed, I'm sleeping. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter who's around. My eyes are closed, I am going to sleep. And I was a sleepy girl.
Damn. sometimes you do need those moments. You need them days where all you want to do is just sleep. I normally, if I'm doing an evening as I am now, for example, I'll do an evening stream. And before I do an evening stream, I want to feel fresh. So I usually, pretty much in this order, but not necessarily, I want to eat, nap, and maybe even take a shower just to freshen up. Especially the shower thing has become more of a thing because of the heat we've been getting recently. So thankfully it's cooled down a bit. Excuse me. But yeah, so thankfully it's cooled down a little bit, but that's kind of become a routine now. So before getting ready to basically go live, it's shower, eat, sleep, eat, in that order. Today, I needed to make an important phone call, and I was just saying to you before we came on air, you are in a queue. You're in the queue. It's like this. Our agents are busy at the moment with other callers. They will get to you as soon as possible. And here's that elevator music. That god awful.
I love that elevator music. It pisses me off so much.
It's just annoying. It's usually trying to. Can I even make out what it is supposed to be? Like, is it just or is it just a completely made up piece of
I'll tell you what makes me irrationally angry is when I go onto Twitch and I turn on a stream that's just starting or just ending, and the damn streamer is using the same fucking music because it's royalty free.
Yeah.
There was a while back, and this was ages ago, that I managed to find one that used the exact same elevator music as my fucking doctors, and it pissed me off so much I had to turn it off. I couldn't watch them.
You don't want to be reminded of that call. Yeah.
No.
I did. Well, I don't know if I've ever come across that. I might do now you've mentioned it. It might be subconsciously I'll probably come across it. But
again, for everybody in chat, go on Twitch and watch randomly starting streams until you find one with your local GP's music.
Well, yeah. So I had that phone call of waiting for hours and just went on forever. They did say if you like a call back, press you could enter
retain your position in the queue.
Yeah. We can call you back in up to 30 minutes. I was like, you know what, I'll stay. When I got off the phone though, because obviously you get on your phones now, it gives you how long you've been on the call for. Over an hour. That was including the wait time.
Oof.
Literally what I needed to explain was less time than the wait time. But
that's
insane. I know. I was like, damn. And it's like premium accounts or something. It's just like, it's going to cost me later on. Phoning up to try and sort out financial problems because you're like,
I got more financial problems waiting on
hold. Literally, yeah.
Oh,
I hate it. But also the other thing about it is automated service. To get to the right department, push 1.
Oh God, yeah. Having to go through all the robots to get to a real person.
Yeah. If you like to get through to this department, push 2. If that department doesn't suit your needs, push 3. If you still haven't heard everything we've just said, push 4. You're like, what? I've completely forgot what one it was supposed to be now. There's only 4 answers. Push 2. 2. Financial department. No, that's not the one I wanted. Have to restart again. Yeah, annoying. Just it's so annoying. They can frustrate me no end. Anywho, all right, let's get off that. Right, so let's get back into this. Let's get into the actually, we could start off. I was literally about to say it before I asked you what you've been up to, and
sidetrack.
And we got into a bit of a sidetrack. So talking about Bingley came in to the call and started playing Phasmo. We started playing it on, I think, Monday. Now, last week I said I don't want to do it because I knew about the quality of life and the Willow rework was going to be released on the 21st. So I didn't want to play it. I ended up playing it Monday and Tuesday. But, well, so here it is. Here's the Phasmo update. And this is all what you'll be expecting to find if they don't mess around with it too much. Yeah, so the Phasmo is the Phasmo update. It's the 0.18 up 0.00. Yeah. 13 Willow Street rework and quality of life #1, because there's going to be a second one in a few weeks' time, actually. I think it's going to come out in August. We'll probably get to that as we go through the list. So I'm going to go through the list. I'll explain my thoughts on it as we go through them, as to whether or not it makes any real difference. So the biggest thing that they've done was 13 Willow Street got its rework. So, Monday it was saying goodbye to the old map, and then on Tuesday, once it released, the new rework of 13 Willow Street. So the map has received a visual overhaul with new assets, props, and more available to discover during your contracts. The original layout remains, however, some rooms have been repurposed. And the flow of several rooms have been edited and to improve gameplay. I should have put my glasses on when reading because that's where I'm struggling. Okay, first of all, let's get to the layout itself. Yes, it is exactly the same layout. It's exactly as you walk through the door. You've got the front room, you go on towards the kitchen, and then off to the left-hand side, one of the first rooms you come to is the garage, and then going back into the main sort of foyer area, you've got the bathroom, one of the world's smallest bathrooms. Beyond that, on the left-hand side, again, at the back of the house, was the boys' bedroom. Opposite that was the main bedroom. So what changes have they really made? Well, massive amounts of aesthetics have changed. It's a new aesthetic sort of pack, so they've really revamped it. The shelving in the living room, as soon as you walk in, you'll notice straight away has actually items inside the cupboards. If you go back to the older maps, some of the cupboards, they just bare. They just don't. It doesn't look lived in. That was the first thing that we said. I think we had our friend with a sneak. He came in the other day as well, and he was like, "It just looks lived in now. It looks like it actually is owned by someone. It actually looks like it's owned by someone who is very rich and loves their gaming." And cats. Plays a big theme throughout the whole of the location. As you'll notice when you go into it, there's climbing apparatus all the way through the room, going up the walls. There are scratch balls, quite literally a scratch ball on a pedestal, I think it is. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember the thing, but it's a cat scratching ball. But there's loads of cat things throughout. There's little balls with bells in, those sort of cat things that cats like. The little fishing rod with the feathers on. One of those is lying about. If you look around, you might see it.
It's funny you say that. I'm playing with one of those right now with my cat.
So they do exist in real world, and they've obviously put them in the in Willow. There's like I said, cat theme and gaming plays a big part of this throughout. The garage has now had a big overhaul to it as well. The garage is now a gym. So they've got rid of the car. They've split the garage into two sections of workout area. And then there's what used to be the utility room is now a shower area, which is the only shower in the whole property. So I would imagine if that's what you wanted to do, you'd have to go into what used to be the garage to get into the shower. It's separate from the bathroom. The bathroom itself has an actual bath in it, and it's like it did before, but they've rearranged the way in which the layout is so that the bathroom now looks bigger. Surprising how much bigger something can look when you turn it on its side. Keep your thoughts to yourself. But yeah, perspective. Hey, who knew? But yeah, so a lot of the stuff is interactable as well. Like I said about the gaming stuff, if you go into the living room, you'll see a games console. It's a handheld device. I think you know the ones I mean. Switches. It's kind of like that, but obviously without using copyright, they changed the name. But it's quite obvious as to what they are. There's a PS5. There's a SNES, I think it is, like a Nintendo SNES. There's the Nintendo.
Is a SNES?
It's like an old, I don't know. It's Nintendo Entertainment System. I think or NES or NES. Did I think I made that up? NES, SNES. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. Something like that.
NES? Like NES.
Yeah, it's a Nintendo Entertainment.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The square thing,
right? Yeah.
You see what I see now, right? Now you know what it's. Right, there you go. Now you got it.
Okay, I know what you mean.
That can be found in the basement. So the basement had been redone. Complete overhaul on the basement. The basement used to have just a sort of medium-sized area. Then it had 2 rooms separate. That's completely gone. It looks massive. The basement actually looks like it does go underneath the entire house.
It does. It's huge now.
It is a really big area. Like they really utilised whatever space they had. There's a pool room, darts. There's a dartboard. There's, like I said, there's a gaming area. There's things on the wall, like different pictures on the wall. There's an actual coin-op machine in one of the corners as well, and which is interactable.
A dead body if you're unfortunate.
Yeah, if you're not looking when you're going. There's a bar. I think there's an actual bar as well.
There is.
Yeah, and then there are certain locations, certain areas throughout the locations which can be turned into natural hiding spots. And what we mean by natural hiding spots is where the developers have allowed you to be in a safe spot, so you're safe from the ghost. Unnatural ones are just where you're lucky, and I'll get back to the reason I'm mentioning this because I did a little go on the Tuesday morning and I tested it. I was actually caught out. It was actually in the basement, and I was in the ghost room, and there are shelving in one of the corners. I was able to prop up against the wall next to the shelving as the ghost hunted, and it didn't see me. And I'm not going to lie, I bricked one. It was like, I was like, oh shit, the ghost has seen me. But yeah. So there are, basically breaking line of sight helps hide you. They're not guaranteed hiding spots. So they are unofficial hiding spots, and then there are official hiding spots. Depending on the settings that you have it on, the more difficult you make it, the less hiding spots there are. And then that's where you want to rely on either looping. And for those who don't know, looping is when you just literally looping the ghost around an item, usually a table. So you're just getting chased around the table. You're trying to keep your distance from the ghost at all times until the end of the hunt. So that is basically what looping is. So you've got those options to loop or to use unnatural hiding spots. And that's throughout all of the maps, regardless. And that's always been there. That's always been a thing throughout. Anyway, get back to the layout. Back upstairs again. You got there is only one bedroom, and if you look at all of the recent updates, all the reworks, they seem to be doing away with. If you look at, I think Tanglewood as well, there's only one bedroom. And the same with Willow. There's only one bedroom, and it's so that they can make the rooms be unique and different and have different features. So that was something I thought I hadn't really thought about until I'd see the rework of this. Then I realised it makes a lot of sense. Like for example, in Tanglewood, there's a room which definitely is aimed at the more older sort of generation of, like, there's a puzzle board and knitting,
basically.
yes, crafted, yeah, and it's the same with Willow Street. There's a room called just the studio, and it used to be what was the old boys' bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's just called a studio. It's an artist's studio, so there's paintings everywhere. There's cutting knives, cutting boards somewhere that you can do crafting, and it looks. I've got to be honest. I think it actually looks really good, Willow Street. As I said,
well, I'm not the biggest fan of change.
Yeah,
but I will say, I think this is probably the best rework they've done yet. I wasn't the biggest fan of what they did with Tanglewood. I'm not a fan of what they did with the kitchen. The farmhouses can get fucked. They're dead to me now. But fair. I actually quite like this one. I think it's a good improvement.
Yes, yeah. I instantly liked it when I walked in, and again, I'm not 100% with change. Tanglewood again. It's the same for me. I don't like how you walk into Tanglewood and the door doesn't go against the wall. It just sort of hangs there.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's just things like that bother me. It doesn't feel natural. They should have switched the door, which I'm sure they can do. They could have easily switched the door over to the other side. So as you enter the house, doors should go against the wall, not just against nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what bothered me about Tanglewood more than anything. Yes, some of the layout is a bit, I don't like it. I mean, you could tell that it is Tanglewood. You can see that it is the old layout. It's the same with Willow. It's just, you can tell that what they've done is they've kept the layout. They've not done anything with the maps as such. But they've just changed the aesthetics. They've just changed the way things look. Like I said, the only bedroom there is the same size bedroom as it was when it was the parents' bedroom before. But this time it looks out to a pool area. There's a pool, you can actually look out to the backyard. There's a pool area. They've changed the location in terms of outside. I think they've now put it in Florida. Because you look, there's mountains and then there's palm trees looking as you arrive on the outside. Okay. I think they aimed it as a Florida based. I think that's what it was done.
Could it be hints towards the Phas movie?
Could be. Could be. I mean yeah. I mean there is. If you look in the kitchen, there is a map, and it's got the house on the map, and there's a route been planned out. And one of the seats there is like a backpack. It's like they're planning on moving. A lot of times in updates, there's clues to like lead you on to other things. I never actually experimented with like using UV. Like in the past when we had Nell's Diner, for example.
Yeah.
There were clues throughout. And once you find the clues, it gave a big reveal at the end. Something, that you need to look for and piece together. Much like it did with Pointless Hope. There was that big reveal at the end when once you get the big reward at the end, you get a new player card, and that's what I was expecting with this. But it might be leading on to something later on. It could be part of the next phase. I don't know. It's speculation from my point, at least at the moment. But it has been known in the past where they've done something like this, when they've gone, okay, there's clues to something. Now, if you go to one of the other locations, you'll find another clue to that map. And that's possible that there's something there. We could just be looking into it too deeply. I don't know. I like to think not, though. because that's what.
Well, to be fair, didn't they say that they were making another map, like a new one?
So it could
be that there's clues on this new map for the new.
Well,
map.
yeah, it's that's why the next time you go into the Willow, if you go into the kitchen, have a look on the kitchen work surface. You'll see a map, and then there's an actual route planned out on the map. And you can't get close to it, which is kind of deliberate, I guess, but and it's fixed, so it won't be disturbed. I don't think it gets disturbed when the ghost hunts. In fact, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I looped the ghost a few times the other day, and I think even Mini Bingley was with us when we looped it. But yeah, so I don't recall that ever been moved. So I think it's fixed. But yeah, it's worth looking. It's worth looking at, see whether or not it could be leading you to the next location of the new map. So yeah, that could be a thing actually. Now you mention it. All right, so let's I haven't spoken quite in depth really about some of the rooms and stuff that go with inside the Willow Street rework. Additional key bindings for equipment slots have now been added to this update, which for me kind of annoying because it played into. I use a mouse which has interchangeable buttons on the side, so I can have like an MMO mouse with 12 buttons, or I can have just up to 6 buttons. Now, I already use the key bindings to have some of the equipment, like, for example, the in-game radios, so you could talk to your teammates. If you're not on Discord, you'd have the in-game proximity chat. I already used the key bindings for some of those buttons, but they have layered it over, so I was pushing the buttons, but I could also hear the crackling of the radio.
Yeah.
Okay, that means I've just got to rebind them. I just had to put them back to default VMB, I think it was. So I've done that. But yeah, it makes switching between items a little bit easier. So, for example, whatever you pick up first, second and third, those are the orders in which you push the button. So if you picked up the torch first, it'd be a number 1, and then if you picked up the spirit box, it'd be in number 2. So yeah, that's how that kind of works. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 keys that you have, your number buttons on your for PC players. I don't know how it works on console. I can't comment, so don't ask me about that. We'll just have to find out that together. I did ask one of our console players whether he could tell me. I think it's shoulder buttons and D-pad. I think that's how that works. But which makes sense. You've got a D-pad, you've got analog sticks, you've got shoulder buttons. There's a few buttons there that could be used to help console players. Okay, moving on. So yeah, there is a separate photos now can be taken. So if you're capturing EMF 5 readings, it will say on the photo camera EMF 5 at the top of the screen. If it's just EMF without EMF 5, it'll just say EMF. If it's, I think you can take a photo of, you can take a photo of the writing book. So it'll say writing book. And you could separate what you're taking photos of. It's worth noting you can still take duplicates, but it's telling you it's pre-warning you before what you're taking a photo of. So you try to avoid duplicates. Sometimes I think we can be a bit trigger happy on the old camera, so occasionally we were getting duplicates anyway. But that's to help with the photo camera and also with the video camera having the similar sort of ability, so it can tell you what it is. I discovered, me and Sneak played on one of the maps. I couldn't find the bone, but the camera saw where the bone was.
Oh.
Because it registered on the back of the camera, the bone. And then, as it was Tanglewood, as you walk into the bathroom, you open the door and it does open to the wall, as doors should do, as I had already said. So we walked into the bathroom, couldn't find the bone, but I looked at the camera and I was like, what's that? It says bone. Highlighted bone. So I was like, oh, where is the... Oh, it's behind the door. So as we opened the door, we blocked it. So the camera, much like the video camera, will tell you that there's ghost orbs. So if you see ghost orbs...
improvement.
Yeah, so if you go into a room fully lit without turning anything off, like the lighting off to get the night vision, and even if you don't have night vision goggles, like I don't think you can see it anyway, but if you turn...
not on the night vision goggles.
You have to turn the night vision goggles off, then you have to turn... Then you go to turn the lights off, then you turn the night vision camera on, don't you? That's generally how most people will play the game. Well, if you enter a room and there's ghost orbs, the camera picks it up. The video camera picks it up, I should say. I've got to make sure I mention which camera I'm talking about. The video camera picks it up, ghost orbs, much in the same way as I discovered with Sneak, the bone. It was like, where's the bone? We wanted to find the bone to get the perfect investigation. We couldn't find it. And then we walked into the bathroom and then I'm holding the photo camera and it said, bone, where is it? Open the door. It's behind the door. We blocked the view of it from ourselves because of the door being closed. But door being opened, technically speaking, I suppose, because it opened inwards. Yeah, so that's actually a really good thing. So including these on-screen indicators actually helped us find something that we couldn't see. And that also, like I said, it helps you put photos in the journal a lot better, because you're not going to take photos of the bone if you've already picked it up, but you will pick up footprints or fingerprints twice, and you could get a duplicate of that. So that's something, you could end up going, oh, well, I know I've got a picture of EMF, but in one investigation, I got 3 photos. He said EMF 5, and I think something else came up, but they all came up at the same time. And then the next time something went off or something was triggered, we didn't... Oh, it was the writing book. Yeah, it was the writing. So writing, EMF, and EMF 5 all got triggered with the photo camera. I was like, wow. So I took 3 photos consecutively, and sure enough, look in the book, I'd filled up the page.
Nice.
So it's like, it's actually such a... quality of life is what it's called, and it is quality of life. That's the whole point of the update. So yeah, I'm really happy with those changes. I'm really not going to go through all of these changes. There's so much to get through. I've been talking extensively for some time now, and we're going to run out of time. Let's get on to the other big thing then, the new ghost. There's a new ghost called the Diligist. I think it's called Diligast.
I have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, we've sort of like nicknaming it the dildo ghast, but
the dildo ghast.
Right. So I have experienced it, and I was aware of it prior to going into it. It has a speed which matches or close to the Revenant's top speed. So when the Revenant sees you in line of sight, it runs to you really quickly, like so fast. So, and the only way to escape it is to literally use a smudge, or you're just pretty much died from it, because it catches you straight away. So I was aware of the speed of the Diligist, whatever, I don't know, the dildo. I was aware of the speed of it. I knew it had that speed, but I was in the journal. It does state that its weaknesses can be slowed down with the help of the living and the dead. And that's pretty much that's the only sort of clue. It's like cryptic clue. And you think, what can the dead person do that a live person can also do? Throw things on the floor. Every time you interact with something, if you throw loads of stuff on the floor, it slows down. It slows the ghost down. That's the second speed. But you would have had to have interacted with enough things. If, for example, you got ghostwriting, you'd also be left with that plus a few other ghosts and a polty. Now, if you thought you had a polty, you might start making a polty pile.
Mm-hmm.
As a result of that, you might think, oh, well, okay, I'll do a polty pile, without realising that you've just slowed down the dilligust. So by interacting with the environment and throwing stuff down, a dead person can also help. Hence why it says the dead and the living to help slow it down. So yeah, I discovered that by myself. I didn't know what that was, but I'd kind of worked out what that... I knew the first part, I knew the speed, but I didn't know the slow speed. I didn't know how that worked. But I worked out from reading in the ghost description. Interestingly, the Dio, as you know, is slow walking, and it runs to you from its location, and then it immediately slows down to a snail's pace, and you can pretty much outrun it, and you can actually loop it a few times, which I demonstrated the other day with Mrs.Bingly, was when she was present, and we was able to do that. The dildo ghast is even slower than the Dio. So you can see the differences between the two. So if the ghost hunts and it runs at you, think about what evidence you haven't got or have got. It might rule out the revenant. And if it rules out the revenant and that is still available, it could be that. And or you might think, oh, maybe it's a Thay. You know, if you're doing a non-evidence run,
it'd be quite distinctive on a non-evidence run, I imagine.
Yes, you'd be able to notice the difference. So you could easily rule out a Thay, a Rev, and then this one straight away just by however fast it is. But then once you start interacting with the environment and it comes at you again, you're slowed down. Again, the Thay also has 2 speeds, as does the twins, but it's quite distinctive how slow it is. You know, the speed in which I see it, I was like, I'm not even moving from where I was. I wasn't attempting to hide. I was just watching it. I was curious as to what it does. It never got close to me before the hunt had ended. We're talking about the length of Willow Street from the back wall to, I think, the French doors.
Okay.
So that length, it didn't get to me. It was so slow because the ghost room was the bedroom.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was really impressed with the difference in speed. I didn't witness the speed, but I was aware of it. Like when I say speed, the quickness.
I mean, the dead being able to help out is definitely a mechanic that they haven't really played with before.
No.
I know there's been a couple of comments about, like, well, when you're dead, you know, it'd be great if you could do more. So now it does give dead people something to kind of try and do.
Yeah, so on I say non-evidence run, if you've died to this and you are with a group, it might be worth experimenting and finding out, you know, okay, it was quick. Automatically, people might go, it was a Rev. You know, the difference between a Rev and this, you have to hide from the Rev in order for that to slow down. Whereas this one, I didn't hide from it. And I just used the environment. I just threw a load of stuff on the floor. There's so many ghosts now with so many different speeds. There's the Abombo has 2 types of speeds. There's the is it the Galu? I think that has 2 types of speeds. The twins have 2 types of speeds. Some ghosts do have speed of sight, so they will just chase you. Like I think the Ulti has that, or the Phantom. But again, Phantom has
the Jinn.
Yeah, like the Jinn is reliant on the breaker being on, and it won't run towards you if the breaker's off. Whereas the Hontu is the opposite. It acquires the breaker to be off to run to you. So, yeah, there's quite a few ghosts now with different speeds, and they're all done in a different way. They're all handled differently, and I like that. it's not. Yes, it can be kind of confusing. Like the Raiju, for example, is the opposite of a Morai because the Morai relies on your sanity, whereas the Raiju is quicker with electrical equipment but slower without it. Like, so if you turn off electrical equipment, it goes to a normal pace. Whereas the Morai is actually the quickest in the game, or at least it was before this update. I don't know if it remains that. But it's the quickest speed in the game. It's quicker than a Revenant. But if you're panic stricken, you're not really paying attention to the beats of the stepping and how quick it is. So you might not pick that up. But yeah, I like it. I like this ghost. Weirdly enough, and like you said, it's given dead players something to do. Instead of Mumsy taking everything to the van, she could just leave it in the house. Yeah. Calling Mumsy out twice today, as we should. Yeah, so I'm really running out of time on this, but there's loads of changes. Adaptation, something I want to mention because I tested it on the Monday and then I tested it again on the Tuesday. It is better, but as you discovered, you found that the journal was too close, so you have to adjust the POV slide. Change the POV slider just to give you a little bit more distance between your face and the book. I quite liked the adaptation. It's quicker to change light, whereas it weren't before. It was very slow and but yeah, there's loads of things I just don't have time to go through. But there's a massive list of them on the Steam web page, or on the Steam page. It's major update. Like I said, it's the major update 018 for 13 Willow Street. Quality of Life 1. So there's another one coming in August. I think it's August, something like the 17th. Or what? It'll be a Tuesday. They usually are. I'm going to close that down because we're running out of time. So I'm not going to go through all the fixes now, but it is available. I got carried away. I'm not going to lie. I got carried away talking about it because I was so excited by it. It's actually a massive difference from the previous update where it the customization update fucked.
It broke everything.
It broke everything. It was awful. It was actually disgusting how bad it was. And lots of people complained about it, and that is why this quality of life is now available.
Yeah, it's nice to see them actually paying attention to like what people have been saying for once.
Right. Yes.
And I guess we'll see what comes out in the next one.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated as we always do with the Faz. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to go on anymore. I've spoken for quite a bit now, so I'm going to give myself a bit of a rest. I think I'll hand it over to you, Kate.
Yeah.
If you've got anything to continue on with on the Faz, but if not, yeah, let's get into your TVs.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to hop straight into TV. So last week I asked Steve the question of what is his favourite TV show, and we then spoke for what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Yes.
On Steve's favourite TV shows. So I've got a couple to bring up for you today. Now, I've got 3, with a couple of honourable mentions maybe. So growing up, like as a teen, I was big into like the Joss Whedon universe. Last week we talked about Buffy, we touched on Angel, like all of that kind of 90s TV. But my favourite of the lot had to be Firefly. Now, I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it was Nathan Fillion, maybe it was Summer Glau, but something about deep space comedy just really, really scratched the right part of my brain. Now, is it the best made TV series ever? No. Was I heartbroken that there's only one season of it? Yes. Would I watch a reboot? Fuck yes. So if you haven't seen Firefly is a type of spaceship. And there's only one season of it. There's, let me have a look, see how many episodes there are. 14 episodes in a film. That's all we got. About a particular Firefly spacecraft called the Serenity, which is which you follow on various adventures. Now, Joss Whedon likes to reuse a lot of his characters and casts. So give me just a moment. I'm going to get the list up. Here we go. You might recognize some of the cast from his other works. Obviously, Nathan Fillion was briefly in Buffy. You have, Summer Glau was a big name anyway. Alan Tudyk as well, big in comedy. Gina Torres was, I believe, in Angel, as well as Alan Tudyk and Gina Torres, I believe, both being in Dollhouse, which was another one of Joss Whedon's TV series, which I greatly enjoyed. But yeah, I just wanted to give an honourable mention to that because I don't think it gets enough love, honestly. If you have the chance to watch it. I think my favourite episode growing up was probably Janestown, just because the character of Jane is so like hyper masculine and like angry and trying to be buff and scary, and it was a wonderful take on the other side of that kind of personality. But unless you've got anything to say about Firefly, Steve, I think I'll move on to the next one.
No. The only thing I would say is that I never watched it. I was only familiar with Serenity, the film, and but I still hadn't seen it. So I'm gonna have to add it. In fact, I've just done it now. I've added it to my watch list.
Yeah, it is on Disney Plus, I believe.
Yeah. That's exactly where I've done it too.
And again, it's one of these things that I have on my list to sit and rewatch because I don't rewatch it often, but I do really enjoy it. I think you in particular will really enjoy episode 4, Shindig. There's a lot of very sweet moments in there, and it's also it's got like swashbuckling and there's like a duel, and I think the whole like the comedy of it you'll quite enjoy.
Yeah, no, like I said, I never watched it. Only heard about it because of the film, and I for whatever reasons just never got around to doing it. I will start my watch list and get back to you on that.
I will hold you to it. The next one is a newer one that I wanted to talk about, which again, it's more of an honourable mention than anything else, but you might be familiar with the TV show The Handmaid's Tale, which came out in 2017. 6 seasons, kind of starred Elizabeth Moss, got very big very quickly. Well, recently on Disney Plus, there has been a spin-off released, which is based on another one of Margaret Atwood's novels. She did write this novel, which was a kind of almost like a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale called The Testament. Now, I've only seen part of the way through The Handmaid's Tale. I find it a bit long. I like to binge things, and it's very hard to binge. And there's a little bit of like political conflict because Elizabeth Moss, is a Scientologist, and I'm not big on that in the things that she was preaching. But The Testament follows the children of Gilead, so it's based, I want to say, like 10-ish years after The Handmaid's Tale, and it follows June Osborne's daughter. June Osborne being the main character in The Handmaid's Tale, as well as some of the other kids when they're in almost like the finishing school, preparing to become wives. And I wanted to mention it because I think it is so well done, the way that they take something that is such obvious like social and political protest writing, but to tell it from the experience of teenage girls without making it like childish or cringy was very well done, because you really get a sense of like it becomes a lot more harrowing. It's not as dark as The Handmaid's Tale yet. There's only the first season that's out. But what you see is like everything has that undertone of it. And obviously you're aware of The Handmaid's Tale watching it, so you know what different things mean and what the nuances are. But you kind of get to look at it through these rose-tinted glasses of the children that have grown up in this world and this environment. And I just think it's got a lot of potential. It's something that I did they released it an episode a week on Disney Plus. And I actually found, like I said, I do enjoy binging TV shows, but I actually found myself really enjoying like a Wednesday afternoon when I knew that it would be released, having something to look forward to and watch. So I am excited for the next season, and I do hope it comes out soon. But watch this space and go watch it if you enjoy things that are a little bit more like protesty. I will say it did pique my interest, and we have spoken about this a lot before on this podcast, but there's a lot of feminine rage in it. And it is very well done, which is going to grab my interest anyway, because I enjoy that thing. But check it out. It's a little bit different, but you don't need to have seen The Handmaid's Tale to kind of get what's going on. It does give you information as you go.
The Testaments. In Disney Plus, there were 2 Testaments, but they were under different names slightly. Testaments of Anne Lee is not the one that you're talking about. It's just called The Testaments.
That is a film.
Right. So that's just a film.
The Testaments of Anne, it's either Anne Lee or Anna Lee. I have seen it. It's meh.
Okay.
But you're just after The Testament.
The Testaments, the TV series.
Yes.
Right. Created by Bruce Miller. I'm just getting the information because otherwise it'd be the one to look for. Because Anne Lee is the director.
Yes.
Right. So you don't want that one. And it's okay. Right. Anyway, that all been said.
Yeah, so those are my kind of honourable mentions, which I think are very good for different reasons. One for nostalgia, one for just use of the genre, and the rare instance where I think a sequel might end up being better than the original.
Yeah.
But the question of my favourite TV show comes between 2. And I'd like to talk about one of them. Because the other one I think we will cover in the idea for the next episode that we spoke about earlier.
All right, okay.
Okay. I have a favourite TV show, which is my favourite for like the plot and how well it's been done, the cinematography. And I have one which is kind of like a guilty pleasure almost. Because it's a really good TV show, really well done. But I will just keep coming back to it and I will rewatch it and rewatch it. Mr. Bingley likes to joke that I have an annual rewatch of this TV show, which is the one that I will talk about next week. So the one that I want to talk about this week, you might know it got quite big and then it kind of died down, is The Haunting of Hill House by Mike Flanagan. So The Haunting of Hill House is based on a horror book by the same name. It is honestly fucking fantastic. I've watched through it maybe 4 or 5 times. Every time I notice something different. So this TV series follows the Crane family. So you have a father, a mother, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. Yeah, 5 kids. And it jumps in point of view and in time quite a lot. So you jump in between the past and the present. And in the present, you find out quite quickly that one of the siblings is missing. I think the first episode of the actual TV series, which is called Stephen Sees a Ghost. So this isn't a spoiler because you do find out very quickly. The first episode, Stephen Sees a Ghost, Stephen is the oldest of the Crane kids. And in the present, you find out that one of the kids, Nell, they're all adults, but I'll call them the kids because we'll talk about the parents as well, has died. Okay. But you find out that she's died when Stephen is looking her in the face. And then she disappears. Okay. And throughout everybody in the family finding out that Nell is dead, you're getting flashbacks to when they first move into Hill House. And I think it's very, very well done, because throughout this entire TV series, there is there's a couple of ghosts that like come back. There is one in particular that haunts each of the twins. So Nell is one of the twins and Luke is the other twin. Now, Luke, I'll talk about first. You find out quite late in the TV series that he is haunted by one of the ghosts of the house. So I'm not going to give any spoilers on that, because it is a big part of the episode that it is in. But it has caused him to fall into addiction.
Okay.
And Nell is haunted by this ghost called the Bent Neck Lady. You find that out, I think it's like the first scene of the TV series, is you see young Nell seeing the Bent Neck Lady at the end of her bed as a nightmare. And this Bent Neck Lady comes back thematic throughout all of the TV series. You eventually find out who and what the Bent Neck Lady is. And when I tell you, for me, it was the biggest reveal since finding out that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was so well done because you don't see it coming. Like, I didn't see it coming, you know? And it's such an emotional point, because not in the terms of like sadness, although it is very sad, you find out who and what this ghost is when you see Nell die, which doesn't happen until later in the series because you're jumping back and forth. And in this reveal, you should feel sad because you're watching this character that you've come to know die, but all you're feeling is the horror of realizing exactly what you've been seeing the entire time. It's beautifully done. In terms of building suspense, Mike Flanagan has done a fantastic job, because in almost every scene of this TV series, there's ghosts hiding in the background. So like I said, I've watched through this maybe 4 or 5 times, and every time I'm watching the background trying to spot new characters and new ghosts that I didn't see the first time around.
Okay.
And you don't necessarily realize that some of them are ghosts until it's revealed later on in the TV series, and then you have like flashbacks to when you've seen a character that you just thought was a person, and you now realize it's a ghost.
Right.
But there's one episode in particular that I really need to talk about, and that is episode 6. Episode 6 is called Two Storms, and it is a cinematic masterpiece. So Two Storms covers Nell's funeral. Okay, and almost the entire episode is just the funeral. Okay, but when you're watching it, it looks like this 17 minutes of the episode all look like one centerpiece tracking shot. There's no switches, there's no POV changes, there's no camera angle changes. It all looks like one take. 17 minutes.
Wow.
And it isn't boring.
Hey.
You don't lose interest. It's still got all of the suspense. But what they actually did was they made it up of 5 seamless long takes. So 5 takes that just fit together perfectly. They actually had to completely rewrite the script in order to get the camera's choreography into the dialogue, because you have a lot of like conflict and arguments and emotion, because it's a funeral and there's all of the different stages of grief happening. And in order to cover everybody and watch everybody, they had to build a physical set, which included like the funeral home and included the actual Hill House, so that you could walk through the environments without stopping, and it would all still be one long camera take. There's no cuts whatsoever. All of the rain had to be synchronized, the lighting had to be synchronized, all of the hidden ghost appearances had to be perfectly timed. There's like a 360-degree pan around Timothy Hutton, who plays the father of the Crane family, where the adult Crane children are replaced by their sorry, I got it the wrong way around. The young Crane children, the child actors, had to like run out of frame to be replaced by the adults. So when you watch this panoramic, it swings around all of the kids and then it swings around and they're all adults again. That's all one take.
Oh, nice.
It's incredible. It is so technical and it was so seamless, and the effect of it was just this utterly heartbreaking immersion. You feel like you're in the funeral home. You are part of this funeral. You are with this family. And it's just, considering that, although it is a horror TV show, considering that all of it is one big long allegory for grief, it really just encapsulated that no one can escape from it. You know, everyone has to feel it, and it is long. It is arduous, and you can't escape from it. And the whole TV show is full of symbolism, which was all beautifully done. And Mike Flanagan, hats off to him, brilliant job. But this particular episode really hit home. It was just, when I tell you it was beautiful, like, it was a true piece of art in terms of cinematography. I don't believe it won any awards for it, but the fact that it didn't is such a snub, because it really should have. And if I am wrong and it did get any awards for it, somebody please let me know, because I would be very happy to find out. So I 100% recommend watching The Haunting of Hill House. If you're not a fan of scary things, watch it when it's daylight. But watch it, process it, watch it again. There's all sorts of things, whereas like words have double meanings, or somebody will say something which won't mean anything until later on, a couple of episodes later, and when you rewatch it, you see it all, and you see how the past and the present are all interweaved into each other. And I mean, I haven't even gotten started on the ending of the TV show. So it's one season. It will only ever be one season. It was intended to be almost like an anthology, which is why you have like Flanagan's second TV show called The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Right.
But the ending of The Haunting of Hill House is so ambiguous on purpose that you don't know whether or not the characters are actually safe, or if they're actually not. And I'm not going to say any more than that until you've seen the TV show. Once you've watched it, we'll have a discussion about it, and I'll explain what I mean. All I'll say is, when you're watching The Haunting of Hill House, keep an eye out for the colour red, because it has a significant meaning. I'm more than happy to stream this into Discord, or to watch it while somebody streams it into Discord.
Going back to last week's one, when I was talking about how I don't particularly like listening. Start again. When I don't particularly like watching, I don't watch a lot of TV stuff. So that's why I chose, from the era that I chose was like late 90s, early 2000s. That's when some of the best TV that I watched. And that's why I said, but so I stopped watching a lot of stuff that comes on, and I'm getting recommended a lot by people to say to me, look, have you seen this? And that could be on either Netflix, Disney Plus, any of the streaming services. I'm like, well, I don't want to get too many streaming services because I'm going to pay out for them. But at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah. Someone asked me, had I seen the? I think it was The Rookie. I was like, no, I haven't. And they were like, yeah, you got to try and watch that. I was like, it's on. I think that's probably on Amazon. Amazon thing.
Don't get me started on Amazon.
Amazon Prime. No, we had that last time. But that's on Prime. I'm like, I've got all these streaming services, but I just don't know if I can justify having them unless I've got something to watch. I've got Firefly. Plus, I am technically American Horror Story as well. Something out that I did mention earlier. I'm not even saying it now because you were saying about the haunting on the of Hill House. That I haven't seen for a long time, but I've got that to still watch. I've got I've gone back to Buffy now. Obviously, I've seen Buffy, so I could probably just hold on for a little bit and watch maybe Firefly instead. So they're both on Disney Plus. And then this does sound really good, and this is more closer to now, isn't it? It's more. It's recent, isn't it?
Firefly, if you're not in the right mood, can be a bit of a hard watch. I will say, like, you've got to be ready to sit down and watch it. You know, some of the episodes are a little bit slow. But The Haunting of Hill House, you'll start it, and you will not want to put it down until you're done. Like, you will want to binge it, because it grabs you, it pulls you in, and it doesn't let you go until the last minute.
Right. Okay.
So if you're going to start with any of them, I would recommend that one. I really do think you'll enjoy it.
Okay. I'm gonna try and get into some of these. I say new. I mean, it's not really Firefly's not new, but like it's new for me.
New for you.
We'll see how we get on, and then if and when I start watching them, I'll let you know. But okay. Oh my! Sat down for so long, my knees just said no, stretch. So let me just stretch my knee. There we go. I sometimes it'll lock, and then I've got to just extend my leg to let it flex. Okay, there we go. That's eased off. Right. So moving, yeah. Okay, I think you've already answered. So, like, Hill House is your favourite thing to have watched, right? That's what you've said.
Yeah.
There's no point in me asking the question of what is your favourite thing of all time, or does that change?
What do you mean? Like my favourite TV show of all time?
Yeah, I mean that would only change when you start to watch something new.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in terms of what will I always go back to, I'll talk more on it next week, because I do think it fits into the theme for next week, which will be a surprise. Check in.
Okay, fair enough.
The TV show that I'm on about there is The Good Place, but we will speak about that next week. In terms of like my favourite nostalgic show, definitely Firefly, but The Haunting of Hill House has to be my top TV show. It has to be.
I'm sure that I said it before we started. I'm sure there is a film, isn't there?
I believe there is, but it's not related to the TV show.
Oh, it's not. It's just
no.
They've taken. Yeah, they've just taken the idea and run with a different direction, kind of thing, or like the similar sort of premise,
it's based on the same horror book.
Yeah,
I believe. I think it's like it's either called The Haunting of Hill House, or it's called like The House on the Hill or something like that. It's by Shirley Jackson, I want to say. And there's been a lot of different takes on it, but The Haunting of Hill House is the only one that I've seen.
Yeah. See, there's things that are in my mind. I'm thinking of so many different things where they've used the similar sort of like haunted house or just hell house, or there's those going through my mind. I'm like, then there's like 13 Ghosts, which is similar to like there's things that are. Which was a film that I remember seeing that was scary. But they sort of all extend from the same sort of thing, or from the same sort of idea, don't they? Yeah. Anyway, we can move on from that now. I don't think I've got anything to add. I've said all mine last week.
I did promise the viewers something.
You did?
Last week. So if we're done talking about our favourite TV shows, we can get started?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So last week we didn't have any episode of Is It or Isn't It a Sex Game? And I promised one this week. So let me find the soundboard. It is time for
Is it and isn't it? Is it and isn't it a porn game?
Fucking love that jingle. So if you haven't played this game before, go back to the first episode. Why are you starting with episode 9? It's a two-parter. At least go back and watch episode 8. But this is a game that Mr. Bingley coined, and I stole and ran with it, which began with him trawling through the pages of Steam and giving me the titles of games and asking, is this or isn't this a sex game? Now, what I've found is it is a very, very versatile game. So every time we have a theme, I do try to come up with some options. This week, I am going to be giving you the titles of TV series, and I want you to tell me if there is or isn't explicit sex scenes in it. Bit of a challenge for some of the longer TV series.
Right.
So, the very first TV series that we're going to go for. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying explicit sex scenes, not nudity. I'm just going to specify that before I start.
Right.
So, the very first one that I'm going to give you is Breaking Bad. We'll start with something that was fairly popular.
Oh, right. I think I know the answer to this.
Mhm.
I'm going to say no, there isn't. But I think there was definitely nudity in it. So that goes against what you were saying about not nudity, but definitely sex scenes.
You are absolutely right.
Yes.
There's a female topless nudity scene in season 1. There's I think a couple of like masturbation scenes in season 1 and 3, which I'm not counting as like sex scenes because it doesn't involve two people. But there's no like explicit person with person sex scenes. So well done. You have scored 1.
Yes.
Let me find the next one on my list. I'm going to try to find things that I think you'll either know or know of. All right, let's go for, sticking with the Firefly theme, something with Nathan Fillion in it. The show Castle. Does that or does that not have explicit sex scenes in it?
Castle.
Yes.
This would be another one of those. This would be, definitely one of those programs I hadn't seen. So you kind of got me on this.
I can give you the synopsis if you'd like, if you think that it will help.
I mean, you can try. We know where we stood on the books. That did not go well for me, that one. So yeah, go on.
Okay, Castle, which ran from 2009 to 2016, stars Nathan Fillion as a successful author, Richard Castle, who teams up with an NYPD detective, Kate Beckett, to solve complex murder cases.
Then yes, he's teaming up with a female he's going to of.
I can reveal there are no explicit sex scenes in Castle. One of the only scenes where he does not fuck his female co-star.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with
okay.
Since you didn't know that one, and I thought you might have, but since you didn't know that one, we'll go with a fairly obvious one. And I will say the next one, Bridgerton.
Bridgerton, I've heard this is fairly recent as well, isn't it, Bridgerton?
Very recent.
Again, it's based on a book, isn't it?
Yes, a series.
I've not read or seen any of this, so it doesn't help that part of it doesn't help. But I'm gonna say yes. And we've got a claw on back here. I've got to say yes. Wait, isn't this very much sort of a Jane Austen kind of thing?
It is set in the Regency era.
It is Regency, isn't it? It's definitely.
But it's not exactly historically accurate.
Then yes. Then I'll stick with my original answer.
Bridgerton is a Regency era romance, which has a lot of rather explicit sex scenes in it.
Oh wow! Okay, I might have to put that on my watch list as well.
There's some hot people in there, men and women alike.
Damn. Okay then.
100% recommend. It is such a good TV series. The next one, which you may have heard about because, it was fairly popular, but I just need to check which version of it I am talking about. Okay, I am talking about the TV series Shameless, the US version, not the UK.
Oh, right. I didn't watch the US version. Which means, oh, wait. See, they like to do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to say, I think this did, which may be...
Final answer?
Yeah, I mean, I might have to do a little bit of research, but after this, just because I...
It absolutely does. Of course it does.
Oh, I thought they... Do you know, I thought they would have changed it. If they're going to change it, they're going to change... Because I'm pretty sure the British version didn't.
Well, the US version very much did.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one is another honourable mention because you mentioned it earlier. The Rookie. This is the final one.
Oh. Now, it was recommended to me to watch it, and I said I didn't want to do that because it meant subscribing to things. I haven't seen this.
Again, I can give you the synopsis if you'd like it.
Isn't Nathan Fillion in this one as well? Or is that someone else I'm thinking of?
Yes, he is. Nathan Fillion is in this.
He is! I knew it! See, I've got something right. All right, okay. I'm going to say... see, American TV, man. Having just said what I said about the US version of Shameless... But then we would have... we would have... I'm going to say no, because I think in this case we've got 3 in a row for yeses. So I'm going to say no, which means...
You are absolutely right. There is no explicit sex scenes in The Rookie.
Wow, Nathan.
So you are...
let us down.
You are 4 for 5.
Woohoo! Why? Yeah, I only got one wrong.
Well done. Yeah, I think the only one you got wrong was Castle.
Brilliant. I know more about TV than I realised because I don't watch a lot of it, but I seem to understand. I mean, Breaking Bad, I remember mentioning that one last time.
Yeah.
So I was aware of that. I knew there was boobies in it. Yeah.
So that's all we have time for.
Is it? And isn't it? Isn't it? And isn't it? A porn game?
It didn't rely on both of us pushing it at the same time. Brilliant. Oh, I love that. There's quite a lot of TV that I haven't seen. Clearly, like we said it last time, I'll say it again this week. Just as a reminder to anyone who thinks, well, we're talking about TV, and yet we're talking about TV for different eras, different, a lot of different genres as well.
Mm.
We've got, there's horror straight away. There's horror. There's space adventures.
Yeah, sci-fi.
There's period dramas. Like that's not so much The Handmaid's Tale, but like
well, there's still social and political protest.
Yeah. So there's a mixed bag. I like it. There's a lot there, and like last week was pretty much more for me, much more sci-fi, and paranormal. Although you did have a little bit of paranormal with haunted house, the haunting of Hill House. God, that's a mouthful to say. Really.
Just call it Hill House.
Hill House, yeah, it's easier to say. Yeah. So there we go. I think. Well, we're not fully done with the TV. We'll get some more next week. But we have got. I think we're pretty much done for this week, anyway, at least. Apologies for the breakup in sort of mics and stuff, but we managed to fix it quicker than it letting it go on. At least I've got a chance to sort of edit out those moments. So if you do want to hear the edited versions, you can. They're going to be over on Spotify as a music also say the Apple podcasts as well. I think it's Apple podcast. I can never remember. Anyway, it's on all of the big podcast platforms, including Amazon. Amazon Music. And that's it. That's what we've got time for. Oh, also don't forget, we got our own YouTube channel. It is Mr. Steve and Mrs. Bingly's podcast YouTube channel, where the edited version of this also goes. So you've got that. I'll make sure to take out those broken microphone moments, and I'm gonna go into, when I get a chance, I'm gonna go into my settings to make sure that it doesn't happen anymore, and I'll find out how to fix that for future, so that we don't get any more interruptions. Anyway, as we have now come to the end, thank you very much for listening, and that's it for this week. We'll see you again next time on the To Be Decided podcast. So thank you very much, Kate.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Steve.
Thank you. Until then, bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Grr. Arg.